Konnichiwa, Mrs. Play.
Konnichiwa.
And good time zone winners. Welcome to the Wrong Button Podcast, the show where we talk most things video games, a lot of things anime. Today is going to be all things Star Wars Celebration.
Because today is May the 4th.
May the 4th.
May the 4th be with all of you.
May the 4th be with all of you. We're actually recording this on May the 4th because Mrs. Play and I went to Star Wars Celebration.
And we only just got back from Japan.
And we're both recovering from getting back from Japan.
It's a 13-hour time difference, and it was rough.
Yeah, so we wanted to take this time today to talk to you guys about our experience at Star Wars Celebration. We went to the event for 3 days.
2 days?
2 days. I'm gonna count ticket day as a day.
Okay.
So
Pick up your badges day.
yeah, pick up our badges day, 'cause we got to talk to some cool people there. But you and I went to Star Wars Celebration, which was held in Tokyo, just outside of Tokyo in the Bay Area. So
Yeah, Tokyo's a mega city, so it's not Tokyo Center and like the Yamanote line, but it's still Tokyo proper.
as
One of the burbs.
As Mrs. Play sits here and names the lines that run through central Tokyo.
It's the circle one. It's the circle one.
But yeah, so that's what we want to talk about. We were going to follow through it a little bit chronologically for you, break down how we felt about it, things that we did, experiences, any tips or tricks if you want to go in the future, as well as price worth, because I've done a few different cons that are like anime focused. I've done video game cons.
Yeah,
as you guys know,
PAX.
I typically try to go to PAX every year. I'm missing it this year for Star Wars Celebration, so if there was a year to miss it, it did feel like it was this year. But yeah, so let's go ahead and we'll get started with that. So we actually, oh god, when did we fly out? We flew out on the
Tuesday the 15th. Tax day. That's how I remember it.
That's how you remembered it. Yeah, that's right.
We flew out Tuesday the 15th. We landed in Haneda Airport, Tokyo on the 16th. And then the 17th was like, embrace the suck of, that is like a 13-hour time difference. Like you sleep, you adjust as much as one wants to while on the plane. I know there's adrenaline and excitement, but it's about a 14-hour flight from the DC area straight out to Haneda. So 17th, our Embrace the Suck Day, as I call it, was also the day that we picked up our badges.
Yes. And it was cool. So we flew out of we live in DC, so we flew out of DCA. Just because it's like the
IAD.
We
flew out of Dulles.
We flew out of Dulles. DCA is Reagan, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
You like DCA. You wanted it to be DCA.
I wanted it to be DCA.
DCA doesn't have any direct flights.
DC or BWI, I'll drive.
Anyway.
We flew out of Dulles, and it was cool. So you and I were standing in the ticket line to like do our check-in process because
there was strong encouragement in all like the newsletters and stuff. And once you buy your tickets, like, hey, pick up your badges in advance. And we could have picked up for those who came early, like arrived in Japan early, or any like the Japanese locals, if they were going to Star Wars Celebration, they could have picked up their badges as early as Tuesday before the convention, because the convention was a Friday, Saturday, Sunday affair.
Yes, I was actually still talking about us at the airport.
Oh, my bad.
I'm sorry. No, you're good. You're completely right with that. When we were at the airport, it was cool. So we get in line, and it's a flight to Japan.
We were flying ANA, All Nippon Airways. They partner with United Airlines, and I like ANA more than I like United. Sorry, not sorry. So while we were in line just for like luggage check, because we knew we were going to be there for like just over 2 weeks, so we brought like full size luggage. And as we're waiting in line just to get to the counter, you could see who was going to Star Wars. it was very clear.
It was
like
very
rocking
clear.
their Star Wars wear.
There was one couple in front of us, and the gentleman had on a really cool, like really loud Star Wars. I want to call it like almost a Hawaiian print Star Wars shirt.
Yeah, it had that like luau vibe cut, but it was like red and white with like all of the Star Wars symbols.
So and that's all I was saying.
We knew.
That was really.
And Chris is like, "Hey, are you going to Star Wars Celebration?" They're like, "We are." It's like us too, and it was My husband, who is an introvert, don't talk to me, don't look at me. I don't want to make eye contact with you. I'm here for an exchange. Let's have this transactional interaction and move the fuck on. We're not here to be friends. As soon as he sees someone he might like vibe with from the nerd community, he's like, bestie? Has no problem being like, hey. Now he's like seeking out the icon. Like, even if they have their back to him, he's like, hey, excuse me, kind sir. Is that Volante design? Oh, hey, excuse me, madam. Do you like this thing that I also like? Isn't it so like? He wants to be best friends with everyone, and then I'm the opposite. I'm like, stop fucking talking to people. Stop talking to people. And that's our dynamic. We are opposites when we stand in line. Go on. Back to you.
And then we get to other areas, and you're like, I want to talk. I'm like, why are they fucking talking to me?
Yeah, like,
this is called service. I don't fucking want this.
Yeah. Stop trying to be nice to me. You're only doing it because you're being paid to do it. Go away. Go.
The stripper doesn't love me. I learned that from the military.
So glad. Like, that lesson from the drill sergeant sank in. Part of his core personality now.
But so that was cool.
He made friends.
It was like I don't have a lot of like Star Wars gear, surprisingly enough. Like my Star Wars like gauges didn't enter till I got home, and one of them I had to get like reordered because it's too small. But like it was cool because
your Star Wars paraphernalia, like you have
a shirt,
stuff around the house and stuff. But as far as like apparel goes, I agree, you're a bit sparse.
So I had my like classic, like it's just a Star Wars. It's a great shirt.
That one was packed.
That was for like day one of the con. Mrs. Play ended up getting the Star Wars Celebration Japan shirt, which is
it's a sleep shirt, but I'm representing it today because it's like my only Star Wars shirt. So you can't see me. We don't have a camera up, but excuse me. I am representing. I came down the steps to the studio and I'm like, hey, look at me. I'm wearing the shirt. I'm wearing the shirt.
Overall peaceful flight over. It was cool seeing probably like 20, 30 people on the plane, like that I actively saw. I'm like, you're going to Star Wars Con. You're going to Star Wars Con.
Yeah. People with like their Mandalorian bags. And stuff. Like just like the backpacks. You could tell.
Like sitting in the lounge. I'm like, that's a Heroes versus Villains Mandalorian bag. Dope bag, sir.
Lots of Ahsoka backpacks.
A lot of wink, wink, nudge, nudges from the community, which is really cool.
Getting through immigration when we landed, like, why are the lines so long? And everyone's just like, cherry blossom season is over. What the crap? Why is there such a long line? I'm like, oh, it's the Star Wars celebration. And you could tell that like the locals, I don't think were quite expecting it because we got a lot in there. Like, oh, what are you guys here for? And like Star Wars, and like they were like, you too. Like that's a lot of people that are here for that. Yeah, and just to throw some facts and figures, this is from like the WaltDisneyCompany.com website, just like recapping the celebration. So 2025 marks the 16th occurrence of the biannual global event, and this year's event was the biggest international Star Wars celebration ever, with over 3 days, over 105,000 guests, representing 125 countries. So truly a global celebration.
Yeah, it was massive.
In some, the lines for customs were long. The end.
Although kudos to Japan, still breakneck pace. Like they do not mess around. They get you through.
No, they don't fuck around.
Yeah,
the Japanese are efficient.
They are.
Love.
So
love you, Japan. Miss you.
Yeah. But yeah, so we get there. It was cool seeing people, talking to people in line. At least I enjoy that because there's we have a commonality. We both like this thing.
Yeah, so Chris likes con culture. It's like we have a commonality. You're genuinely interested in the thing that I'm genuinely interested in.
We're at the one time we can talk about it without like anyone really saying anything.
No eye rolls.
Yeah, and it's going to be cool out the other way. It'll be great. And that was absolutely fantastic. I loved every moment of that. You're right. And then so we get to our hotel. We actually stayed in a resort hotel right outside Disneyland, Tokyo.
Disney. So from door to door, like from our hotel door to the convention is like right at an hour. We took the train each day. The train itself, I mean, it's Japan. It's efficient. It's reliable. We love it.
They're apologizing for 4 minutes late. We're like, shit, holy crap, you guys are on time for us.
Yeah, I was like, the VRE would never. So door to door was about an hour. The train itself was about 40 minutes. Like you just count like here's our stop, count 7, boom, this is where we get off. Very clear, easy signage to walk to the convention.
Yes.
And being on the backside of Disney, I got to see the fireworks, and that made me really happy.
I did not get to see the fireworks.
Because he was asleep.
I was asleep, and the fireworks did not faze me, apparently.
No, you sleep like the dead.
I do.
Like if I come up and a floorboard squeaks near you, then you'll wake up. But fireworks outside the window, no effect. You're only awoken if the vibes are close proximity to you.
I went up there, saw, got to see that, got to see on the backside of Disney, which was honestly cool, like as a place to stay.
Great service, good food.
Yeah,
good views.
Full disclosure, guys, I will shill for Marriott. I travel a lot for my day job, so I stay at a lot of Marriott properties, and we almost exclusively stayed at Marriott's our time in Japan, both for the con and then for our well-deserved vacation throughout the country. So if you're looking for a place to stay, I will highly recommend any Marriott property. They just feel really good. But yeah, would go up and get breakfast at the property. See, once again, people just in their Star Wars clothing. Yeah, multi-generational.
And people, so when we checked into the hotel, they're like, what are you here for? And so as Chris was saying, like, we're here for the Star Wars celebration. There were so many people already in that had come in earlier than us and had picked up their badges, picked up any of their pre-purchased merchandise that you also pick up when you pick up your badges, and were representing the hats, the lanyards. They had their T-shirts, so everyone's wearing the swag. And so even as we're in the lobby, you had your Disney princesses and the Mickey ears, but there was an equal, if not greater than 50% mix of Star Wars. It was really nice.
You would see people going out, you could tell, oh, these people are going to Disney. These people are going to the convention.
Yeah.
I think the only crossover would be you could get the Ahsoka Tano Mickey ears, which is the only real cross there. But yes, as you put it, the 16th was when we landed. No,
we landed on the
16th. Got to our hotel, made it. I'm gonna say very generously to maybe 7:30.
Yeah, that's you. I stayed up for the fireworks.
And then the next day got up for our Embrace the Suck day, as Mrs. Play put it, which is just the get as much sleep as you could the night before, and the next day just stay awake.
Yep.
To adjust to that time zone. And we went to go get our badges.
Yeah, again, very easy train ride, not too crowded because it's the day before the convention. Clear, easy signage. Even as you got off the train, you've gone through the turnstiles and you're walking towards the convention center. There was so much signage of Star Wars Celebration on the pillars as you left the station, and walking towards the convention center. This way for these things, it's color coded. It's in English and in Japanese. So if you know one of the two languages, you can get along just fine.
And just because this is going to be all audio, I will link to our Instagram, because on the Wrong Butt Instagram, I was posting pretty much daily. You can see confits from Mrs. Play and I. You can see the really cool signage for the badges, things like that, because it was heavily Japanese inspired, Japanese art, kabuki art. So it's all really cool, and I will make sure that's posted. But yeah, we got to the convention hall, and
the pickup badges in Hall 9, and incredibly easy to navigate, get in line. The line's moving. Again, Japan is efficient. And so it felt like these people had been prepping for at least a week prior, having all the bags already. It was in alphabetical order. There were so many staff on hand who spoke multiple languages who were there to help you. The line was moving pretty quickly, and we were surrounded by members of the 501st.
Yeah, it was the Central Texas Garrison of the 501st.
And that was my first time meeting anyone from the 501st.
Yeah, they actually have a really big presence at MagFest. The local Baltimore Garrison does. So it was really cool to meet those guys there. Two very nice gentlemen. Their names for me and their TK numbers are escaping me. But we got cool
we swapped swag.
They got some Wrong Button. Everyone had cool Star Wars stuff. We did not. I should have had a Tyler sticker made for this, because he's our token Star Wars looking character.
But those guys came prepared. Their backpacks were just people had signs of like share, like swap merch with me.
Yeah, like
And that was my-
swag swap and stuff like
swag
that.
swap, and that was my first exposure. I'm sure that's a lot more normalized with like larger conventions and stuff. But just even like admiring people's different patches and stickers, enamel pins. There were like challenge coin equivalents. Like again, this was all new to me. I was in awe. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah.
And some.
Got
The
to
stickers are really cool.
The stickers are really cool. And honestly got to learn about like Japanese cosplaying over there because we were talking to the two gentlemen and they had they built special. I believe one was Rex's armor as a samurai and the other was a stormtrooper as a samurai from Clone Wars and just Star Wars respectively. And I was like, that'd have been super cool. And they're like, well, one, luggage, we're transporting it across the
weight.
And I'm like, that's fair.
Word.
And then there apparently like you really can't go to you can't get dressed up and get on the train.
Yeah, there was a big thing about full costume, especially with masks or anything that would obscure your face. Absolutely no weapons on the trains in Japan. And so like between luggage and just like weight, all the stuff that you're bringing back with you, the hotel rooms in the immediate area surrounding the convention center are on the smaller side. Like Mr. Play said, we favor Marriott's, and those are going to be more of like a westernized style hotel room. It caters to a Western audience. The rooms are going to be bigger. But if you're staying at
a Japanese
hotel, it's going to be a shoebox by American standards, by Western standards. Incredibly small. So unless you're willing to like put all of your luggage on the bed every time you open it, there's no room. So for all of those reasons, they did not bring the samurai armor. Additionally, for anyone who was dressing up, you had to go to like a specific convention hall in order to get changed. So you have to like pack all your gear, roll it over there, transport it over there, and that pretty much means, I don't know if there were lockers. I don't know if you could leave your stuff there overnight. Since we didn't participate in that, this is all conjecture. But I would.
It looked like it was that they had a small changing area behind where we lined up for our badges.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's some sort of like ticket cloaking system of like, here, make sure you take this number. We'll hold your stuff for you, and that way, like, no one's worried about their things getting stolen. But even I would loathe to navigate my luggage for my cosplay through the Japanese transport, and it's so many people. There's a lot of stairs.
Yeah,
you'd have to get a taxi, and it's just an additional expense, an additional hurdle to overcome.
My work Pelican case would be the only way to go. But yeah, so talking to those gentlemen and just learning that about, especially because cosplay is so big, based on like anime, manga, things like that, like.
You have all these like themed cafes and stuff, but I guess like when people go home for the night, they're not necessarily.
They're throwing like a long like beige coat over it all.
Trench coat.
I know that's like a negative thing to say in America, so I don't want to say trench coat. But yeah, so they're throwing a long trench coat over that to go back. So yeah, that was just
it was just a surprising. Like, didn't know that.
Scoped out a little bit of the area around the convention.
It was big.
The convention hall was massive.
And even the convention, so you have like the main convention hall, which of course is huge, but then there were even
like two small buildings.
There were 2 or 3 small buildings. So you had like the main celebration stage, which we never even went over to because it required separate reservations. That was kind of like a dome building. You had Exhibit Hall 9, which is where you picked up your badges. Exhibit Hall 5 was where you could do your like get ready for cosplay. So I think there were like 3 satellite buildings over and above like the main convention hall itself. It was, I'm not used to a multi-building situation. The largest thing I've ever been to is PAX.
Yeah.
PAX East.
And I don't even think I would have a bigger thing to show for it. Yeah.
Like San Diego Comic-Con.
But I think it's still one building.
Maybe. I don't know.
But yeah, so we went back at the end of our first day, scoped out. You guys know if you go to a con, Mrs. Play is a very diligent researcher, which is
high praise.
Full disclosure, I brought the wallet and the points.
You did,
Mrs. And you know what? I carried the luggage.
You did. You were so great.
But Mrs. Play was like, "Hey, look, we should look over here. We looked for hotel rooms. We could have gotten them close to the convention, but Miss Play's like, there's nothing to eat.
And it was like $600 a night for these convention halls. And I mean, I'm happy to splurge. We are dual income, no kids. I'm happy to splurge, you guys. I'm in my mid-30s. I'm here to be comfortable. That was not a $600 a night hotel.
Yeah. That was
they weren't. Sorry, not sorry, they weren't.
That was a con night hotel that they were gonna get you for.
Yeah.
And
it was like peak cherry blossom season out over a beautiful cherry blossom park prices, and I'm like, we're not that liquid.
So we get back from the first day, and Miss Play ended up scoping it out, found like, hey, there's a Lawson's, there's a Family Mart, like
our essentials.
We can get there. Mm-hmm. And for those guys who don't know, Lawson's, 7-Eleven, Family Mart over in Japan, nothing like they are over here in the States. You can get good quality food.
Most of them are 24 hours.
24 hours. Drinks are always well stocked.
Mm-hmm.
Pokey Sweat, as much as we were sick of it by the time we got home.
Yeah, and Pokey Sweat's kind of like a Gatorade. It's just an electrolyte drink. But like, at least by American standards, the food is a lot cheaper. In Japan. Like just like base price, let alone like currency conversion. As of like while we were there, you could take say it's like 1,000 yen. You're like, oh my god, like 1,000 yen, $1,000? No. 1,000 yen is ish like about $7 US. Like move the decimal place over to the left too, and then like basically knock off about 30%, and that's roughly ish about what it was US dollars.
Yeah, it used to be like, that's about $10.
Yeah. So.
But Mrs. Play and I could both get a drink, both get 2 to 3 onigiri a piece, or a sandwich and onigiri, and be completely happy with
rain. That. Any Boss coffee that we wanted.
Yeah. So then that wraps up our first day. Or I'm sorry, that wraps up our Embrace the Suck day and Go Get the Badges day, which is cool talk to the 501st day. Then we get to the first day of the con.
And the con opened at 9 a.m.
Yes.
And it helped that like everyone's encouraged to go get their badges in advance. So, like that way you're like, oh, I know where I'm going. And I mean, as an anxious person, it helped really remove my anxiety. The entrance to the convention was not the same location as where we pick up the badges, but just like follow the crowds, man.
Yeah.
The train was very busy. Even breakfast, like day of, people were decked out in their Star Wars gear and had gotten up earlier. Just follow the crowds. Go ahead. Back to
you. So first day we waited in line.
Yeah. We got there
maybe 10 minutes after.
No, like we got there like 20 minutes early.
Oh, did we?
20, 40 minutes early.
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. They had us waiting in it's a giant like back and forth queue. Very wide, like at 10 feet wide each row as you're going your way up. But there's like no fucking shade. So if you didn't bring a hat, sunglasses, a parasol, which is really popular in Japan, a lot of people just use an umbrella, but I mean it's a parasol. The Japanese sun is not to be fucked with. It's like the sun in the Mediterranean in July and August. You don't fuck with it. Since there was no shade.
Cake up on some sunscreen.
Yeah, you need sunscreen. You need to hydrate. You need a hat. So even though we weren't in line long, and I'm just like, I'm sweating. I'm very pale. I'm Irish and German descent. I burn easily. So I'm afraid of the sun. I'm just like a little scuttle crab trying to like live in the shade. That's my life. I'm one sunburn away from skin cancer. I think you get my point. So, but the queue moved as soon as like the clock struck 9. The line moved steadily. But it was just a lot of like back and forth. There also,
yes, it is an organized line. It's a very organized gaggle fuck.
Yes. Yes.
Because like it's not like you're moving in a line because there's all these people. So it's like these people walking faster than these people.
Yeah. Some people like dodging and weaving, and I don't like. And people like so many people like dodge and weave in front of me, then I feel like I'm getting further behind.
Mrs. Play is not one for following behind people that are perceived as slower than she is.
It's not perceived. They're factually slower than me.
And
little legs and no sense of urgency.
So yeah, there was a little bit going through there. But we did make it into the con, which was
Well, even before, sorry.
okay.
Even before we like you go through like a checkpoint for like baggage check, just general metal detectors, and though like if you just walk through, keep on moving, and the line is moving, keep on walking. But if you get flagged, you have to step to the side. But like, don't just stand there, keep moving. And then you like walk past the entrance, down the side, about halfway down like the length of the convention center. We're like, oh god, how long does this line go? Like, just kidding. You turn back, walk around the side again, and then boom, you're in the main entrance. You're like, we're here now. All in all, I would say like we arrived. I think it was only like 20 minutes early. And once the clock struck 9, I think we were in the convention hall. We were in there before 10.
Oh, it
Might have been like an hour of line moving. It was probably only like 40 minutes. Definitely wasn't 20, wasn't 30, but probably like within an hour, definitely within like the 45-minute window, we were like boom in the convention center.
Which convention center was massive. First thing we did, like any good con goer, bathroom break. Go find yourself the bathrooms, which women's bathrooms seem to be moving pretty quickly because Star Wars is universally above all. For men's restrooms, you learn there are very quickly 2 lines. There is a stall line and a urinal line. And when you're sitting in a line, you're like, why am I not moving? And someone's like, do you just have to pee? I was like, yeah, I got to pee really bad. I didn't think it would take it. No, the stalls are open. But like the queue's like out the side going around. So we did that. Our first day was mainly our meet and greet day. You and I got you got me to meet Sam Whitwer. You were going to go get an autograph by Ashley. And we were supposed to meet Rosario Dawson. And
there was a photo opportunity that we paid for Rosario Dawson. And then we also had a autograph session with Alan Tydek. But that was for Saturday.
Yes.
So like, yeah, the majority of our like meet the celebrities was Friday.
Now I will say we do want to paint this fairly. I know that like this is a biannual con, so this is not as practiced as MagFest is. This is not as practiced as PAX East is.
And it's in a different city.
And it's a different city, different country. So I'd like you all to take that in mind with what we're about to say, or I'm about to say. Probably the most disorganized event I have been through outside of the military. In getting there, you know, Mrs. Play was like, okay, hey, we went over and we saw like the opening ceremony where Hayden Christensen walked out. Yeah. And that was amazing. The crowd lighting up for him.
Yeah, it was those like lightsabers that were handed out being that close to the stage, and there was a lot of energy over there. Lots of like, there was a TIE fighter prop. There was a X-wing.
Oh yeah, the X-wing guys. There was like
the X-wing guys there. There was whatever that what was that.
It was like the giant lizard that you could like ride from.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm like, what is that?
I lost the name.
What is that pack animal?
Yeah, it's what the Sand Troopers rode in the beginning of A New Hope. Yes. When they're looking for C-3PO and R2-D2 out of the pod.
Yeah. So there were those around the stage where we were standing and stuff, but there was so much going on, and there were big screens. Yeah, and we're like, in 20 minutes, Hayden Christensen's going to come out. Everyone's like, oh my god! I mean, at least I was on the inside.
This plays not a very loud exclaimer for her nerddom.
I'm not. My enthusiasm is like childlike and quiet. Like it's on my face, but it's not loud.
But yeah, got to see Hayden Christensen walk out on stage. Got to hear the crowd erupt. And I do think the Clone Wars did a lot to help with Revenge of the Sith, because it's the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith.
Yes.
So to hear him come out and just be like, and just hear the crowd erupt, and then it's like, by the way, guys, it's his birthday.
And so we sang happy birthday to
Hayden Christensen, and just watching him film it and like his eyes like light up as
he was like, you could tell he was getting misty eyed.
Yeah,
it was really sweet. Like, that's what he deserves.
Absolutely stellar. And just talking to everybody, talking about Revenge of the Sith, talking about seeing Ewan when they were doing Obi-Wan Kenobi or Obi-Wan. It was great. So we stayed for that part, and then we went to go find our
where we needed to queue up for Sam Witwer because he was
I got a picture.
Yeah, we bought these things. I bought them they became available in early February. And so we went through and selected what we wanted. And then closer to the convention is when you find out where in the kind of just where your time slot is.
Mm-hmm.
So our time slot with Sam Witwer it was 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
And that the autograph stations were on the opposite side of the main convention room from the the photo was on the opposite side from the autographs. And I'd gone over to the autograph side and found a Mandalorian with an Irish accent, dressed lovely. And I was like, where do we go for Sam Witwer? And maybe I misspoke, but she's like, yeah, you'll come over here, you'll go through this arch, you'll be right over there. And long story long, we were in the wrong spot. We were in Sam Witwer's line for autograph, not for photo op. So once the error was realized, I'm having Mr. Play weave as quickly and as expeditiously as he could through the masses across the convention hall to get to find what correct line he needed to be in.
And this is, I think, where a lot of it was the frustration was had, because asking the staff attendants, they're I don't know who this person is, and you're pointing at the sign, pointing at this, going this person, and they're I don't know them.
Yeah,
and it's just and I don't speak fluent Japanese.
Yeah,
so pshaw on me.
Mm-hmm. It's a language and cultural barrier.
And yeah, so then it was go over there to get the photo with Sam, which I was I forget what I said to him. I said something that made him
how's the jet lag?
Oh, how's the jet lag? And he double taked, and he's just how do you know what I got here? What are you doing? He's no, it's good. He goes, I'm energized for this. He goes, it's not tired yet. And I was like,
the adrenaline keeping you going.
That's fair. But yeah, and for those of you guys who don't know, Sam is one jacked.
Yeah, he's a very fit individual.
I need to watch what I eat, not eat out so much at work. Mm-hmm. Two, he is also tall. Hunched for me. And I'm not necessarily a short. I'm one of the short people in my family.
Yeah, you're 5'11".
6'1" on a really good day when I've slept really well.
And he's just wearing his boots.
Ow. And so he had to hunch. He was really kind. It was cool to get the picture with him. It was really cool to meet him because I watched him on. I played The Force Unleashed. I watched him on to Becoming Human or Be Human on, which is a very short-lived sci-fi show. And
Chris has diligently watched his interviews before.
Yes, and I like a lot of his interviews.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was necessarily worth it, or if you and I could have hey, he's going to be at GalaxyCon, because they get random people sometimes.
I think that would have been, because it's just there's. And I'm not exaggerating. We said earlier there's over 105,000 people, so there are literally thousands of people in line, all trying to get the same experience that you have, and each of these actors, celebrities have very limited time. So it's smile, click, okay, cool, and then the next group comes in. And it's nonstop. So you don't really get to have a more personal, meaningful reaction.
Which 105,000 people? No, that's not.
No,
fair.
It is impossible. It's not even that it's not fair. It is impossible.
A better chance of harassing him on Twitter, getting him on the podcast.
Yeah, and if I know they do it because they love the fan base, they love being part of the Star Wars universe. I'm sure everyone is exhausted every single night. It's incredibly taxing.
Yeah.
But even just from a fan standpoint, I'm glad we got the photo. I don't know if we need to do it again.
Um, and I think honestly, for you, because you waited to see Ashley, um,
She
you had the way rough. Like when I tell you our first day, I think we spent roughly 85% of it standing in line.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it
It's
was
no exaggeration.
It was rough, and I know like they were like, all right, Ashley's leaving now for a little bit, and then she's coming back.
Right. So I'd already stood in line for about 45 minutes because like my thing for her was like anytime on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
You can make sure you check when she's available, but you can get your thing signed because I did the route of like bringing a personal item for her to sign as opposed to just like getting one of her headshots or a pre-selected picture of Ahsoka for her to sign.
Yeah, you did. We did the E.K. Johnston,
Yes.
her book.
Yes.
Because Ashley read the audio book.
She did the voiceover for that one, the audio. I'd already stood in line for 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, Ashley needs a break now. And I'm like, fucking totally, 100%. Again, like I want to like protect these people because they are people.
Mm-hmm.
Protect them from the fans. They need protecting. And just like crowd mindset is merciless. And they're like, okay, be back at 12:30. And so, but again, we were in. It was 11:30. No, it was like be back at 1:30 is when she came back, and it was like every bit of 11:30 at this point. We're like, okay, let's go get food. And just walking down the length of the convention hall through like a breezeway corridor, down the length of the second part of the convention hall, and then the crowds are getting thicker. Like I spent most of the time in the convention hall just following like single file behind Chris, and still like getting separated by a little bit. Like there's just so many people. And like we turned to our right to see the line for the food court, and it is a literal wall of people. It's like standing room only in front of a concert.
Yeah.
People. We're like, this isn't going to work. And more than anything, I was thirsty. We'd already like drank our drinks before we shortly after arriving. I'm like, okay, let's focus on finding food.
And this is where we learned something about Mr. Play is that Mrs. Play,
I come with like a 20-minute warning.
I apparently have like a flipped switch that I don't always realize where I am just now. I am hungry, I'm angry, I'm inconvenienced, and I'm thirsty.
Yeah.
So yeah, learned that about myself. Like, oh, there's the dark side. I can see it. That's fair.
He's nice, easygoing, laissez-faire, what have you. Yeah, of course, you first, not a problem. Have a great day. And then all of a sudden he's like, you were in my way.
I will crush you.
And I come with a 15-20 minute warning. And we were about to like completely like leave the convention hall because as we walked in, we're like, there are 7-Elevens, there's Lawson's, there are restaurants in the immediate area, even though it's not exactly what we want. There's food, and that's the prerogative. But as we were about to like exit the convention hall, on our right there was a 7-Eleven, and the line was long, but the people at 7-Eleven, they do not fuck around. That line was moving. Like
go in, grab your drinks, grab your onigiri, get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Steam bun.
Yep. And that's exactly what we did. That was the fastest line our entire time at the con, was that 7-Eleven line. And we grabbed like a 2-liter bottle of water, a handful of onigiri and sandwiches, and like Mr. Place said, a steam bun, and then like found a pillar to sit next to.
Sat next to a really nice Australian guy.
Yeah.
Who was just, it was cool because it was just him being excited. I sat away because I was still like frothing angry.
Feral.
And then turned and was like, hey, I'm sorry, I was hungry, and I'm hungry, and you did not deserve that to be the first interaction with me.
Yeah, but then very nice Australian guy who like flew to Japan, like did Star Wars Con all by himself. It was his first time in Japan.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's just like hats off, so brave to like just and it's a 10-hour flight from him, and like I forget how big the Pacific is, you guys. I get shocked. I'm like, oh, it's gonna be like an 8-hour flight, 7-hour flight. I was not mentally prepared for like 10 fucking hours.
Yeah.
Like, shit, ours was 14. So it's not that much further. It blew my mind. It really did. It's like first time in Japan and like doing all of this by himself. I'm like hats off. Like I commend him. It was so great, and it was just nice to talk to people. Did you see these costumes? Like, have you been here before? What do you think? Um, just a really nice interaction while we were like eating our food and slowly feeling people again.
Yeah.
But when we wrapped that up, I'm like, well, it's time for me to get back in line to get my book signed by Ashley. And I arrived probably like around 1:20, and there was already a line, which is totally fine. I was a little bit further back than when I had started, like when she's like, hey, I have elsewhere to be. But she was just over an hour late coming back. And when we started looking online at her schedule, because like all of the celebrities, if you wanted to like have a autograph or a picture with them, or like if you had like the VIP passes for like a one-on-one interaction, you could see their day schedule. And so when Ashley had left earlier in the day from the autograph signing, she went straight over for photos and then immediately had an interaction time slot with the VIPs. And one thing I learned from standing in line with everybody else is that Ashley Eckstein is known for having very, like, she will make eye contact with you and have just like a 2 to 5 minute personalized interaction with all of her fans. And that is so incredibly generous of her. And like, she takes the time to be like, oh, have we met before? How are you? Is this your first time here? What do you think? And it's just, it's beautiful. She's so generous with her time and her energy interacting with her fans. And a consequence of that is that things run behind schedule. But it's incredibly generous of her. This is not like I was honored.
Yeah.
With my like 3 minutes with her, she's so present and it's so generous. But like just waiting for like an additional hour, just like before she even came back. It's disappointing. I think that's not a criticism against her. It's a criticism, I think, against how the event was planned. There was no buffer time allocated to any of the celebrities to go, even just like to walk from one end of the fucking convention hall to the other.
It could have very easily be like a 3-4 day convention. Give people like 2 days of like, this is the celebrity meet and greets. Like this is, and then like the next days are like all the performances, their panels.
That's not going to be great from, like, they live streamed it.
They live stream a lot
so
of it,
much
yeah.
Of it. But like I think it could have been broken up better. Again, I want to protect the voice actors and the celebrities and people who are like actively involved in Star Wars, and because like they are people.
Mm-hmm.
And if the event coordinators had just given people time to go from one end of the convention hall to the other, to their own private break room, I think it would have been better.
Yeah.
And of course, like she's not just like going through people like conveyor belt style.
I mean, yeah, I stood off to the side and she's like, oh, hi, husband.
Yeah.
And it was just, I was like, oh, hey, I didn't expect to be acknowledged, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah.
It was great.
So like once she came back, and she even came back like, oh my gosh, thank you all for waiting. I'm going to get to every single one of you. Thank you so much for waiting. Like, again, incredibly kind, generous spirit. I wish the convention coordinating staff had done a better job protecting everybody and just aligning expectations. Again, with like the language barrier and the culture barrier, you couldn't ask anyone like, hey, how much longer is this going to be? What's with the delay? Like you couldn't ask anyone anything. So just like setting expectations for people who are waiting in line would have been really nice.
Now all that, like, you were in line. I wandered a little bit, but I stayed pretty close in case you needed something. But I did get to see there was a gentleman there who was the Fig Mandalorian, is what he goes by on Instagram. And he had a Figment inspired Jedi outfit, that I was like, hey, are you holding a Figment like stuffed animal from like the 80s? Like, he's like, yeah. He goes, that's a niche pull for you to have. I was like, yeah, my mom had a Figment sleep shirt for, years. She might even still have one. But just talking to him about that, there were a lot of Ahsoka Tano's that, one, like, show up for all the Ahsoka Tamos.
Mhm.
But like they would style a wig to be like her Montreal and her Leku, and it was so cool to see that. If any of you guys have seen Demon Slayer, the heart breathing has those giant locks that come down and around. They did that, but then like colored it to look like Ahsoka's Leku, and I thought it was absolutely the
A
coolest
couple
thing.
of the people who cosplayed as Hera did the same thing.
Yeah, Hera did the same
Yeah.
thing too. Just really, and because I was asking, I was like, what had you? They're like,
yeah, Mr. Poe's people watching.
I was like, how? What had you decide to do that? And they were all like cosplayers are super kind with their time, and a lot of them told me they're like, well, yeah, it's just one, it's a pain to do Leku, and they don't always look right.
Yeah.
I'm like, but hair, and you can keep it, it folds up easy. I'm like, no, it doesn't get
Takes up
damaged.
less
It makes
space.
yeah,
Fantastic. Travel.
So that was
You're off having a good time.
right within in the immediate area, talking to those people. Got a couple of pictures of like some really cool Sith Darth Mauls, things like that. Not Sith, like samurai Oni Darth Mauls and different armors. After we did get your book signed, though, we did kind of like
she was again so sweet, and she's just like, "Oh, have we met before?" And I'm like, "No, first time." And like I was trying so hard to control my fangirl because like I'd had like what I wanted to say prepared, and then I saw her and I lost everything.
script
I
smell.
was just like, God damn it. And I was like getting emotional, which I hated about myself, but I managed to like get out that like Ahsoka was how my husband got me into Star Wars. Like this was my gateway character. I enjoy the live action Star Wars, but like Clone Wars, Rebels, Ahsoka, like that's my Ahsoka. And again, like I'm choking up as I'm saying this, and I'm like, I even acknowledged it. And I'm like, ugh! And she's like, it's okay. Like, she's just so sweet. And I'm like, don't cry. You're being ridiculous. But she like signed the book for me. And I was just, it was really nice. And I love how she did her A. It was like this big A. Because Ahsoka starts with an A, and Ashley starts with an A. And it's just so good.
Big ass A!
I knew that's what you were going to do.
But it all fits.
It yeah. I was like, oh, that's so good.
It's a really cool
so
signature.
Yeah. It was a beautiful exchange. And she's like, hi, husband. Like, even just like acknowledging Chris. And I'm like,
Oh, hey.
I'm here with. And it was just like, okay, like, and I knew there was like a whole line of people, even people who were like immediately behind us. We talked to them for like 30, 40 minutes. They're from Canada. Lovely couple.
Yeah, they should go to the Calgary Expo, right?
Yeah. We need to go to the Calgary Expo.
Okay. Figure out when that is.
10 out of 10. And I was like, I promise it won't take forever. And just like moved along. But it was such a...
You got a hug, didn't you, too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's so sweet.
She is.
She's like, she must be protected. That's what I keep saying. Like, we need to protect them because they are people.
But I do think after that, you and I hit our wall.
Yeah.
And we're like, we're going back.
Like my feet just ached.
Oh my God, it was
from
bad.
Just like standing on concrete for so many hours.
Felt like I was working at a data center.
As we were like going through, we saw Ryan Gosling, or at least I saw Ryan Gosling on stage, promoting his new show. I saw Dave Filoni from a distance. I'm just like, oh hey, like there he is with his hat.
Pedro Pascal or somebody took it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was Ryan Gosling and the guy who played Ken. Was that Ryan Gosling?
That's Ryan Gosling.
Okay, there's somebody else too. There's another heartthrob up there because it's a new like fighter pilot movie.
Oh, okay.
That's what they're doing. They're doing Top Gun in Star Wars.
Okay.
Went back. You and I had pizza in Japan that night outside of Disney. I did want to try some things. We were in Japan, that including like McDonald's and like a pizza place.
Mm-hmm.
You know what, guys? Japan does a lot of things better than we do. Pizza.
I mean, we had
not one of them.
From our sample size of 2 of like pizza occurrences while we were in Japan. I didn't love either one.
Yeah.
Like your pizza was better than what I had chosen, but I think that was just a choice thing. I didn't choose the best. But it was incredibly thin crust to the point of like being floppy.
Yeah.
And I did not enjoy.
Yeah.
But thanks for talking about pizza.
Yeah, I got to bring it up because it was part of what we did. Go back to the hotel. Probably pass out promptly. I don't remember much back at the hotel room. Other than like showering.
We were
and,
there. We were at the convention until
4 or 5 o'clock.
Yeah, 4 or 5 o'clock. Like, it was a full day.
And roughly, like I said, guys, 85% of that was standing in line.
It was a lot.
But day 2
Uh-huh.
went a lot better.
Yeah, we arrived later.
Like an hour and a half later.
Yeah, we're like, we'll get there when we get there. Why did we do that?
We didn't want to stand in the line.
Yeah.
Like I always do like one day in the PAX line,
Uh-huh.
and you're typically like, I don't want to do this ever again.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
you do one day in the line, and then we're like, we don't want to do that. So we get there later. I end up getting like the Mandalorian watch. This is part of our swag day.
We wandered like like when we had gone to get the convention hall. Like it's a giant ass single floor, but then there's a breezeway pretty much cutting things in half between like side A, side B, and we had explored side A pretty well. Like that's just where like
the stage
one of the stages was the autograph, the photography, and there's like a couple of things, but we hadn't explored side B aside from going like straight through food court. Fuck that, and immediately abandoning all hope.
They had all the figurines, like a lot of like the stuff that's going to be released this year for Star Wars figures.
Yeah, there was that. Side B had a lot. That's where like their artist row was. That's where one of the panel sections was. It wasn't even a separate room. It was just like walled off with these little partitions. But if you're ever on like the second floor looking down, you're like, oh hey, there it is. Aside from not being able to like really hear anything, I can still see everything.
Yeah. I think that was the public floor. That was the one I tried to enter us into, but I just couldn't get us into. It was cool. So like we actually went in first, and they had a whole thing for Star Wars Visions.
Yeah.
Which for those of you guys don't know, that is the anthology, not canon Star Wars, but people just tell fun Star Wars stories. The first year was a bunch of different studios. The second year had studios from like Africa, South America. I obviously need to watch that one. And then they just announced the third year is going to be all anime studios. Like they're doing the Duel Part 2, which was the big showcase. So we went in there, got some pictures taken with all like the art from like from the
different studios, and then they had costumes from like this was like the main character for that episode, and so they had like a replica of that individual's costumes. There would be a story of like heroes are like first draft of the design and the world building or motivations, and then there's like a matching piece of pottery, some sort of like bonsai tree from that world, and it was just the line was short, you guys.
It was we were there early. It had a brief like manga animation thing.
Like a 1 minute video where you just like enter this white room, this white space, and then projection screen played from all sides, so then that way like you didn't all have to face the same way. Everyone could get the same video or still appreciate it. And then you move on to the next room where people could queue up for a photo. And then you had all the displays from the different studios.
Yes.
And that was just easy to go through. The line was short. And we're like, big return on investment. This is lovely.
So went there, saw that, found out like we were going to wait in line to get to the Artist Alley area. And I was over there, and I'm like, why is this taking so long? Oh, this is for pre-orders. Yeah,
so with all things Star Wars, you need to pay for it in advance. The art was only from like officially licensed artists only, with like pre-approved prints and art styles. And all of that was for sale. Like 85+%, 90+% of it was sold out in advance. You could have signed up for the newsletter, get the notification, look through, and buy what you want. Nothing had really spoken to me, and I had hoped for an artist alley in the true like con sense, but it's Disney, it's Star Wars. I should have known better. So when there was a line for like, hey, pick up your pre-order, but then you could just like walk in through the artist booths, and they had a couple of other like small prints and stuff for sale, and so that's what we did the second day.
And a lot of it was really cool art. Just none of it super spoke to us. That we were like,
there were a couple of things. I'm like, oh, that's really cool, but it wasn't something that I just spoke to me enough to want to pull the trigger on.
Yeah. So it is one of those like, if you're looking for an artist alley where it's like, oh, here's a really cool design of, you're really not going to see. And in talking to some of the artists there, they talked about previously where it's like, no, people walk through and they'll be like, "That's not ours. Take it down." They don't want to lose their sponsorship, and they're like, they don't want to lose that licensing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, that's like, I get it, but I'm like, that is almost tragic. So like, got to see that, which was interesting. Did try the con food the second day.
Yeah, we were in line at like 10 a.m. No, as soon as we got there, it was one of the very first things we did.
We went to get the food. So we did the takoyaki, which was called It's a Trap, where it was one of the balls instead of being filled with octopus, supposed to be filled with wasabi. And it's a game that you can play at like parties where you'll make it, and it's like Russian roulette, but instead of like, eating a bullet, you eat a hunk of wasabi. I love it because I like wasabi, and it was fantastic. And then
I had like a Jar Jar Binks soba.
You had a soba thing, which
yeah,
you didn't seem to mind too much.
There was a large amount of like drink options. I wanted 2 drinks. I got the Yoda matcha, and then like the Mace Windu sesame something. It was purple and then had black sesame in there, and it was more like a milkshake kind of consistency, and I thoroughly enjoyed that one.
I did the yuzu, which was the Ray. The yuzu one, I love yuzu.
Yeah, it was a yuzu soda.
It was fantastic. Like,
it was really good.
Out of going to so many conventions, guys, this was the one con where I had this food, and I was like, oh, this doesn't taste like super shit processed fried.
Yeah.
I got this in my high school cafeteria.
I agree.
My college cafeteria. Like,
and because we were there earlier, the line moved. The line was greatly diminished, and it moved a lot faster. Like, everyone had like a day of experience under the belt. And we're like, keep the line moving, keep the line moving. They gave you a menu in English with pictures. When you get up to the register, you tell them what number you want.
You just checked off on the little patch thing, yeah.
Yeah. You could say like, because the menu items were ordered like 1 through 14, and so you just like put a number to like how many of like that type you want. They give you tickets that correspond, and then there's an entire like food stall row, and then you just like bring your corresponding ticket color to that number to get your dish. And like that's what these people did. They did their one thing.
They
ran it like a machine.
The fact that it was also like, it had like the drapes, like if you were to watch Naruto and you're just gonna go get ramen, that's kind of what it felt like.
Yes.
And so that was a really cool thing as well.
Yeah, food was solid. I wasn't mad at it.
Food was solid. Didn't hate it. Went outside for a little bit to watch all the photo shoots happen. Saw all the Mandalorians. Saw the 501st Garrisons. Got to see somebody do a cardboard ATST walker.
That was really cool. And then even the guys, the prisoners from Andor.
The prisoners from Andor
were all like on the steps as well.
One way out. Mrs. Play's getting there in the show right now.
Yeah, I slept on Andor. Mr. Play told me how great it was, but I've watched the first 2 episodes. It did not capture me, and I proceeded to ignore it until like this morning.
Yeah, so that was day 2. And that was about it. Sadly, like,
it was so much more crowded that day.
It was. The only thing we would say, like, you and I wanted to hit some panels. But if you wanted to see any of the big panels, you entered like a lottery system.
Yes, and we could have reserved it in advance. One of the challenges is that you had to reserve it as an individual. There was a function where I could have bought a ticket and then transferred that ticket to you, but I could not have bought 2 tickets. Which is one of the reasons why we didn't do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a pain in the ass. Just like you and I have very different schedules. And so when I come home, having like, okay, now I need to bring up, like, it's been a long day, plus a drive. We cooked dinner, we ate. Now I have to like build up my mental fortitude again to fucking navigate this process. And so I didn't, and you had to pay.
Yeah.
I didn't fucking want to do that. There was also if somebody can't make it, there was a possibility for a lottery system if you'd like queued early enough.
Yeah.
If you knew where to go and you were there early enough, there's a chance.
Which, like, when you go to PAX, like, they'll have different panel schedules. There was only one area that was hey, this is where a fan would do something, or where you might get like something interesting about somebody's opinion on different Star Wars, or what have you for it. Everything else was like, okay, it's a screening for Andor, a screening for Maul Shadow, whatever it is.
Yeah, the new like Lego game.
Yeah, and that's really cool.
Yeah, Star Wars Young Jedi Adventures is one of the things that was talked about.
Yeah, which is incredibly interesting and really cool that they show that off. But it also was one of those things where I'm like, I don't really need to do that. I'd be more interested to like sit in a panel, like, and they had panels where they talked about. It was Sam Witwer. It was Dave Filoni. It was talking about like, hey, when we do this for the fans and we get the feedback we do, like, guys, it affects us. We want to make good stuff.
Yeah, like these are things that we take into consideration.
And those have been really cool panels to sit on. But it felt so it felt so gate kept.
Yeah.
As like, do you want to get on this? Like, pay more, and I'm just like,
yeah. And so since you got to talk to cost,
yeah,
we paid for, it was a 3-day con. We paid for Friday and Saturday only. It was like 8,200 yen, 1,000, which broke down, like, again, currency conversion wise, it was about like $60 US per person per day. So in that regard, great value.
yes.
We bought merch as well that we picked up when we picked up our badges. Very attainable in terms of cost. None of the art had spoken to me. We didn't participate in that. When we did the celebrity photo and autographs, I mean, that got pretty pricey pretty quick. And so we'd already paid for those things. And then the thought of like, oh, now you have to pay for these panels. I'm like, I don't want to end up shelling out like $1,500 for us to have a good time in total. It can get so expensive so fast. And I wasn't willing to do that. If you were one of like the very few rare, incredibly like lottery winning lucky individuals, the Jedi VIP pass it's like literally like just shy of $1,000 per person. But it would have guaranteed you like celebrity meet and greet 101s. Oh, you're interested in this panel, you immediately go to the top of the queue. Different badges, better pins, shorter lines. If you want to meet anyone, you immediately like you have a separate line that you go to. It's like global entry. It's just like, oh, it is
the Disney Fast Pass.
Yeah, it is the Disney Fast Pass, and like it sold out before tickets were even available to like the masses. So I'm not sure how many went on sale, but I know it wasn't available by the time tickets went on sale for everybody else. And the thought of somebody spending like almost $1,000 per person, but honestly, it's the best value. If you care, like if you love Star Wars and you're going to be there for 3 days and you want to have a fucking fantastic time, absolutely worth it. It is the best bang for your buck because it was just a 2-tier system. You either got this fleeting, if you didn't get it, sorry, not sorry. And then like the general admission tickets, while a lot lower cost, very attainable, it just didn't come with anything. And so you're just stuck waiting in a lot of lines and then paying separately for everything that you're interested in.
All in all, what like,
It was a bummer.
Yeah. All in all, what you and I both said, like, I'm super glad we did this. It was a great excuse to go back to Japan. Mm-hmm. As like people who, one, like, I love anime, I love Japanese culture, food, all of that.
And yeah, it was my like, hey, there was a Star Wars event in New York City. They lit up the Empire State Building because the Empire. Like Star Wars next year in 2025 is going to be in Tokyo. We've said we wanted to go back to Japan. What do you think? We'll stay for a yes amount of time afterwards and it'll be great. This is my excuse, and that's how I got Mr. Play to say yes.
I said yes to the dress.
He said, yeah, he said yes to Japan, and then when we were debating like the number of days to stay after the fact, he's like, no, I can only do this, and I'm like, but what if there's a Gundam? And spoiler, I got him to say yes to staying longer because there was a Gundam involved.
Couple Gundams.
But for what I think, to get back to your point, my favorite part of the Star Wars celebration was the fans. and seeing everyone in their cosplay.
People still went ham.
It was so cool just to see the different interpretations of like the Wookiees,
Yeah,
and different stormtrooper armor, clone trooper armor,
the
the different
Mandalorians.
Sith, all the Mandalorian. We saw the Lego Lorian. Like I've heard of that before. I'd never seen the Lego Lorian, and there were like 3 of them. Like all the different Mandalorian clans. Everyone, like there was like from Obi-Wan, there was like a little girl who was like young Princess Leia.
One couple who got the picture in front of us that were like Han Solo and Leia.
They were so good.
It was so cute. They were definitely an older couple. Like
they weren't old. Like, they were in their 40s.
Yeah, like either late
couple.
Gen X or like early
elder millennial, something.
Yeah,
like
something
that.
like that. Like elder Xer or
young X or elder millennial.
Or elder millennial. Yeah, but it was adorable. They did like the Han Solo like holding Leia. It was
holding the babe.
Oh my god, it was so fucking good.
It was so good. And like everyone
was just cheering for them too.
Like go ham. If you're gonna do it, go all in. The different lightsabers, and then the sabers that look like katanas, and the different blasters.
The falchions that are like lit up like lightsabers.
Yeah,
so good.
Just to see people who are like dressed up as droids, or like you said, the ATST. And that was like made out of cardboard. He did such a fantastic job. Like my favorite part was the fans, and like people putting like all those like the makeup on and doing it so fucking well. The people that are like the women that are dressed up as Padme.
Yeah.
And,
in like
various,
full gowns.
Like, all the like the I am queen.
Yeah, the Darth Talon who's coming back. Like people doing that.
So good. Like just the people watching and the dedication to the craft for like your cosplay. That was by far my favorite part. And even though there were so many people, to the best of everyone's ability, they were as kind of nice as you can be when there's like 105,000 people over 3 days. It was really like that part was really great, and just getting to people watch, and everyone was so welcoming of pictures, and like these people are barely going like 5 feet at a time if you're lucky, or you'd have like several Sith Lords gathered and like photo. There was a couple of people who were like rebels. I saw a couple of Sabines, and it was so good. You could just be like, may I photo? And they're like, yes, of course. And like they pose for you, and it's so generous of their time. And I know it's like hype for them because like people love what I did, and that's going to gas you up. But like seeing the fans interacting with people, even as you're standing in these long lines. Where are you from? How'd you hear about this? First time? What's your favorite part? I really enjoyed interacting with like fellow fans.
Good.
And admiring the cosplayers. What was your favorite part?
I think my favorite part is also gonna be like the cosplay and the fans. Like when we sat outside for a lot of the photo shoots, just getting to see.
I needed a break from the people in the crowds.
Just getting to see all of that was absolutely.
That was so cool.
Yeah, and all different people's like takes on it. Like I'm gonna do a samurai armor. Like it was just like I'm gonna do everything Japanese themed. It's like fucking go ham, do it, man.
Yeah,
that's great.
Time to do it.
So I absolutely loved it for that aspect. But yeah, overall, I'm so glad we tried this. Like I have the badges. You guys can't see it, but the next time that we are available or we do a live podcast, they're hanging up on behind where I normally sit in my
studio space.
In my badge, my con corner space that I like hang everything in. Yeah, and so glad we did it. Honestly, don't need to do it again. I
wish we could have done more panels.
Yeah, and I think like the how the panels like were done, like especially coming off of like PAX East, which has so many different panels that you're like, crap, which one do I really want to go to?
The emphasis with Star Wars Celebration is like to be in the crowd to see the first view of the new upcoming shows, the upcoming video games, movies that are coming out. Like that's where the emphasis is placed. But yeah, I really like panel discussions.
Yeah. Spoiler, we probably be doing a Star Wars playthrough of something because Hondo got announced for that game.
For that one too. I like
Hondo. Hondo is fantastic.
Yeah, he's like Jack Sparrow. I'm like, I enjoy you.
But yeah, all like it is going to be in Las Vegas not
Los
next year,
Angeles.
in Los Angeles in 2027. So highly recommend if you're a massive Star Wars fan in the United States. If you live in the greater Los Angeles area, because apparently that's huge, and you get a con ticket for a couple days.
And if you want to navigate the LAX airport, good luck.
Yeah, catch your train down. I don't know. I will 100% say it is worth seeing once.
Yeah.
Other than that, I would say if it's like in a town close to you or a flyover state, would be the best time to go see that. Not personally my favorite convention I've ever done. Incredibly glad we did it.
I agree.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for hearing us out as we talked about Star Wars Celebration 2025. I will have a link to our Instagram. I will probably get some other photos from Mrs. Play that she took, because she took some really cool ones, and get those uploaded as well for you guys, because this is going to just be audio format for both YouTube as well as iTunes, Spotify, anywhere else that you might listen to it. But if you guys enjoy this, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and Blue Sky. Check out our Discord if you also want to see some fun things where we have very fun conversations calling Gundams Jedi. Remember that you're all winners out there. Keep it weird. And may the 4th be with you.
May the 4th be with you.